Well, if nothing else, being wrong about my pick yesterday validates my Cowboys losing somewhat. The Jaguars are just on a roll today, or recently. Maybe they could actually make the playoffs. I mean, they're a game behind the Titans. But I think I'm starting to see it a little. I mean, I still have to count that as my low for the day because, you know, that's what it is. But my high was watching yesterday's Hot Ones Holiday Spectacular. So, yeah, I'll totally do that. Sure, it was a really good episode of Hot Ones. It really was. But more on that in a minute. Considering what I talked about yesterday. And my act of kindness was, first of all, I should probably say, my low was originally going to be the fact that it snowed, and it was snowing a lot, but it actually wasn't that bad. In fact, it rained a lot yesterday. I mean, it's probably cold outside right now, but I can tell that a lot of the snow is either melted or just really, really slushy right now. If I were to go out there, like, I wouldn't, I'm still going to drive careful. You should drive careful at this time of year. You should drive careful all the time if we're being serious. But for this time of year, absolutely, I'm going to be driving careful. But I genuinely believe I'll be able to get from here to wherever I got to go, and I shouldn't have a problem. Yeah, so I guess with that, let's talk about Hot Ones. Good morning, and happy Friday, everyone. And Merry Christmas Eve for those celebrating Christmas. I also think I think today is also the 6th night of Hanukkah, if anyone celebrates Hanukkah out there. Okay, so where do I even begin with this? Well, as I said before, there's Hot Ones Holiday Spectacular. It was very good, but I do need to clear one thing off the air. I knew Hot Ones was gonna do this again. It just never but I could just because the way I knew they were gonna do it again was I'll get posts off of Instagram because that's usually where First Week Feast posts like anything upcoming that's Hot Ones related. And I could see that it was set up for the spectacular, but I didn't really get a good look at the thumbnail. I was convinced they were going to get Gordon Ramsay again, but no. They got Will Ferrell, which actually makes a lot of sense. Because, for those of you who do not know, Will Ferrell is Buddy the Elf. Before I get into Will Ferrell taking on the Wings of Death, when they do the Hot Ones Holiday Spectacular, they have, Hot Ones awards. Like the most iconic moments and stuff like that. So, Bear Grylls eating bugs was the best wing 10. Kid Cudi had the best reaction to heat. David Blaine was the wing warrior, and deservedly so. Seriously, watch David Blaine's episode if you want to see just a master class and just not even remotely feeling anything. It's David Blaine, what did you expect? Most inspiring, Viola Davis. Yeah, okay. It's Viola Davis. She's awesome. And the Lifetime Achievement Award went to Chili Klaus, which, I mean, it's, it's Chili Claus. I mean, he has been, like, he gave Sean Evans his first Carolina Reaper. And he did it again riding on a horse and carriage. He arguably had eaten the hottest wings ever with Sean Evans, because if you see Chili Claus's episode, which also took place on Christmas, I believe, a few years ago, he, there was only 5 wings, but they were doused in nothing but, like, hot chilies. Like, pureed hot chilies or whatever. And it gets absolutely insane from there. So, Chili Claus deservedly won the Lifetime Achievement Award. And now we get to Will Ferrell. Now, I want to make one thing clear. I mentioned how it made sense for Will Ferrell to be on here, not simply because he was a return guest, but also because he is Buddy the Elf. And maybe someday I'll probably do a movies on Elf if I'm able to. But, I mean, for right now, I can definitely say I like it. I mean, it has some things I would need to talk about eventually, but I can tell you I do like it. And if you like it, good for you. It is a good movie. It's just not one of my favorites. And let's be real here, whether or not you like Elf is going to largely depend on what your opinion is on Will Ferrell. And I'm not what you would consider a Will Ferrell fan. Not in, like, the genuine broad sense that we all know him as. I mean, the problem with most of his movies, especially his bad ones, is it's deadpan scenes that take too long in terms of comedy. The director just simply doesn't yell cut. And so Will Ferrell's jokes just go on and on and on until finally a scene changes. However, while that definitely is Will Ferrell's greatest weakness, when used correctly, it becomes his greatest strength. Because without fail, Will Ferrell's best characters are when he's bombastic, enthusiastic, and emotes from something that's not made of plastic. I made that rhyme. Yeah, that works. That's why I just said what I said about Will Ferrell. I really do find Elf to be one of his better movies. And that's the thing. It's got to be like that sort of over-the-top Will Ferrell that you know about, but just toned down a little bit. That's why Buddy the Elf works. That's why Ron Burgundy from Anchorman works. That's why him being Robert Goulet on SNL works. Yeah, I've seen Robert Goulet. Although, speaking of characters that Will Ferrell has played, that does get into a couple of the questions that Sean had for him. Foremost, he's in the new movie Spirited. And fun fact, good afternoon actually has a different meaning in Dickens' era literature. When someone says good afternoon to you, it usually means you can go, you know what, yourself. Okay, I know what I'm going to do if it ever comes up. And another thing I just learned about Will Ferrell is before he became the Will Ferrell that we all know him as, he actually, on the side, was making money being a mall Santa. Yeah, you know, wearing the Santa costume, going to a mall, having kids on your lap, saying, oh, 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 hello, little child. Oh, Santa loves you. What do you want for Christmas? Like, stuff like that. Which, before I continue, I would like to point out, I think I would make for a good mall Santa. I wouldn't be like, it wouldn't be like, gotcha. You know, I think I'd be pretty good. I think I'd be a pretty good mall Santa. I think I would. I would have to wear a fake beard though. Full disclosure, I actually did try, this is years ago, I actually did try growing out all my facial hair for no shave ever, but eventually it just got annoying, so I wound up not even making it all the way through November. Funny, huh? Although I was rather unrecognizable by the time, you know, it got to that point. It didn't really get that long. I mean, there was a whole bunch of like, it takes a long time to grow out an effective beard. Everyone knows that. Oh, every guy knows that. I mean, not for nothing, but women don't really want to have a beard. Unless you're doing like the bearded lady like a carnival. That's fine. But not very often you see a woman invested in her own beard. At least not one on her face. Anyway, point is, Will Ferrell was a mall Santa, and he actually talked about how Chris Kattan was one of his elves, and they ran into Kevin Costner, who was trying to be incognito. That's a pretty good story. He talked about Will Ferrell being in sports. You know, for a long time, he had like the longest kick ever at his old high school. And he talked about the plight of, you know, the kicker, which, yeah, I get. I mean, as important as any football position is, kickers are kind of the position that people kind of care the least about. I mean, once in a while, you'll get someone like a Justin Tucker or a Adam Vinatieri or Gostkowski, I think his name was, who are just like ungodly amazing when it comes to, you know, kicking field goals and punts and everything. But for the most part, yeah, I do kind of see how kickers kind of get the butt of the joke. Let's see. Look at my notes right here. He talked about being at the Kings game and his all-time favorite Jumbotron moment, which, yeah, he was on the Jumbotron. That's really cool. But, I just mentioned SNL earlier. He talked about playing small roles on SNL, which, yeah, it was actually really interesting. And, you know, that's the thing. That people, like, Will Ferrell largely grew in popularity at first because of being on SNL. And if you really see a lot of his best stuff, a lot of the roles he had were pretty small. Although, let's be real here, outside of Robert Goulet, there's only one role anyone's ever going to remember Will Ferrell from. I can't quite remember what it was. The one thing I do remember is that in Me and Mo Cowbell. that's the joke, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So after finishing, because there's only 5 wings, it really, I mean, the actual Hot One segment itself wasn't that long. I'd say about a good, 15 minutes roughly. But it was a good 15. Like, honestly, if this was, like, this is easily the final Hot Ones related thing that's brand spanking new, perhaps, that we're ever going to get until 2023. So, I'm okay with what we wound up getting for this. I'm certainly, you know, happy that I got to see Will Ferrell on Hot Ones again. And here's the thing. For everything I just said about Will Ferrell, I do like Will Ferrell. I want to like Will Ferrell. It's just, you know, get him into, like, a good role. You know, cut back on how much he's hogging the screen. And if you do that, you should be fine. Listen, Will Ferrell really can be funny. I mean, I just mentioned how great he is, how, you know, him being on Alpha, you know, Anchorman and stuff. Or you know, the Lego movie. Oh, he's great in the Lego movie. I mean, I mentioned enthusiastic and bombastic in the Lego movie. He's in, well, depending on which character Will Ferrell's playing, because he's clearly playing like the dad, who's, you know, trying to be like a stern but loving father. And then you have him being Lord Business, who, in that part, he's enthusiastically evil, which, and he's great in the Lego movie. So yeah, the Anchorman movies, Elf, and the Lego movie. I just gave you like, actually 4 movies in which Will Ferrell is good in. So there you go. Okay, fine. Can't believe we're talking about this. There is one movie that I find myself quoting a lot that Will Ferrell is in that I most assuredly do consider to be a guilty pleasure, because I smile and laugh every time I watch this movie, if it's ever on. But I find it so stupid now. And the sad part is, I saw this movie with the one person who would be perfect to see it with, my brother. Yes, I'm talking about Step Brothers. So, yeah. If you like the dynamic of Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly, yeah, Talladega's, well, here's the thing. You're only really going to like Talladega if you're really that much into racing, too. Ironically, even though Step Brothers wasn't as critically, well, here's the thing. I mean, Step Brothers was technically panned, according to Rotten Tomatoes. I actually think that movie's better than, you know, Ricky Bobby, which is another bombastic role Will Ferrell's pretty good in. Is there any movie I can think of that Will Ferrell is in that he's good in, but he's not doing anything over the top or crazy? Oh, right. The Other Guys. He's great in The Other Guys. Man, I am just listing all sorts of good Will Ferrell movies. Huh. Maybe I like Will Ferrell. Okay, again, it's got to be a good movie with a good director, and when the director yells cut, that's it. Don't let Will Ferrell go off. Don't let Will Ferrell go off on any crazy tangents in, you know, those in like bad movies, and you're fine. So yeah, The Other Guys, Ricky Bobby, Step Brothers, both of the Anchorman movies, Lego movie, and of course Elf. So that's 7 Will Ferrell movies that I can genuinely recommend to people. Yeah, maybe take that for what it is. I mean, you also have to be in the mood to watch Will Ferrell. And again, when it comes to these movies, if you don't like Will Ferrell, none of them are going to sway you otherwise. Because it is Will Ferrell being his most Will Ferrell. I'll just leave it at that. Although I will say this about Elf. That scene where he and Zooey Deschanel are singing Baby It's Cold Outside, let me tell you what, Zooey Deschanel is fine, and man does she know how to film a shower scene. Okay? That's, okay, that was probably a bit much. I don't care. Could you tell I like Zooey Deschanel? She's pretty. I've never seen, I'm going to get a lot here for this. I've never seen New Girl. Like, New Girl, I get the feeling is that show I really, like, New Girl is the kind of show I should watch if I have a girlfriend and she's really into watching that. That would be something. Like, I think that would probably work. But then, let's be real here, any shows or movies like that, you gotta have a girlfriend to watch it with. I think somehow, I want to say it enhances the experience, but not having much experience with a girlfriend, I can't really say either way. What was I talking about that? Oh, right, Will Ferrell on Hot Ones. The Hot Ones Highly Spectacular. It was a lot of fun. You should check it out. I hope I liked this video. If you did, like, subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on social media. As always, I'm very humble in this video for all you guys to watch and enjoy today. Hopefully, a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Friday. And remember, if you guys want to talk, channel is going to be here to lend you know. Always back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby. Merry Christmas Eve.